Greetings everybody, coming to you from my 2018 BMW 540D. This is the US model. It is quite a rare bird with the diesel engine. Only 298 of these were sold before they pulled the plug. Disregard all the noise in the background. I have a couple bottles in the back seat that are clattering against each other. So I've owned this car a little over 2 years, and I've made a bunch of videos on it. I typically get tired of a car after a brief bit, but this one I don't think I will ever get tired of. I'll probably just hold on to this one. This one is sort of my garage queen. I've gotten to the point where I pretty much only drive this in good weather now. And I do have a little bit of a concern about letting the DEF sit in the tank for so long. I need to figure out if I can drain and refill that, because I think the DEF maybe has 1.5 years on it. I think it's good for 2 years. And I have reduced my driving a lot. I've put, I don't know, 17,000 miles on it since I've got it. It's got a very colorful history, if you want to look back through some of my videos, so I won't really talk about that. I mainly want to talk about two things. First of all, as a 2-year owner of a 5 Series BMW, I wanted to compare it to the new 2024 5 Series that just came out. And I made a video about why I hated the new 5 Series. There's just a lot. You can check that out if you want more details. I got a lot of hate on that video too. I think it was one of my most disliked videos ever. Apparently a lot of people disagree with me on that, but this particular style, I always get these wrong. I want to say this is a G30. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but this is a fantastic BMW. I also had two models before that. I had an M550i M Sport with a manual. I have some videos about that one as well too. That one actually drove a little bit better than this one, but this is still fantastic. I want to compare this car, the G30 BMW, to the W214 Mercedes-Benz that just came out. I just bought one of those. I bought a 2024 E350 4matic. This is actually I've had that about 2 weeks. This is actually the first drive I've driven this BMW since I've had that Mercedes, and I just want to kind of compare the two. So again, this is not a comparison of the 2024 BMW 5 Series, because again, I hated that, but it's a comparison of this BMW, my 2018, with the 2024 W214 Mercedes. So I want to say there's like pros and cons to each one. Not really so much cons, but let's just call them differences. So this BMW, it has a much better steering feel, way more feedback from the road. It's connected to the road better. The ride seems, the drive and ride seems more buttoned down, and it just hugs the road, and you can drive it at any speed that you want, and it feels great. It really is a driving machine, for trying not to use a cliche there. Now that being said, let's compare that to the W214 2024 Mercedes E-Class. So that leans more toward the luxury side. So you lose a little bit in the steering feel, but you get a bit more of a serene ride. The seats are a bit more comfortable, especially on longer trips. the seats in this BMW, they're perfectly fine for anything up to, I'd say like 3 hours, maybe a little longer. But the shape of the seat bottom in the BMW is a little aggressive, and I'm actually pretty thin, and it still kind of pinches me on the sides. So I mean, it's not horrible. I'm sensitive to seats, but this one is good enough. So let's see here. Let's just come to a stop and punch it. So this one does the diesel thing where you get the sudden boost of power right once the turbo spools up. And interestingly enough, the W214 E350 gas model does something similar. Now, I don't know if the sudden boost is from the turbo or if it's from the hybrid system, the 48 volt mild hybrid system, but it's actually pretty fun to come to a stop in that car and floor it. And when I say floor it, I mean push it all the way down to the kick down. Both of these cars have sort of like a kick down or a button. I don't know if you can hear it. Let me come to a stop again and then see if you can hear like 2 clicks when I push the gas pedal. Yeah, that, whoa, they even caught me off guard a little bit, even though I'm used to it. And I'm going up a hill here. But yeah, when you push that all the way down, and it's pretty firm. I actually have a friend who was driving my car, and he was afraid to push it all the way down, and I don't think he ever actually hit the kick down. But when you do that, it gives you some nice boost right off the line. It just makes it really, really fun. There's another more subtle thing, a difference between these two cars that actually I think leans the nod toward the BMW G30, and there is a little bit of I don't know how to explain this exactly. I think it might be related to the sunroof being a pano sunroof, and I believe that's standard on the W214, but it seems like it lets a little bit more of air pressure variations into the car, and that's whether it's open or closed. So you may get a little bit more buffeting. I'm going to go ahead and open the sunroof on this one right now. You get a little more buffeting in the W214 than you do in this car, and that again is with open or closed. I have sensitive ears, and I can feel a little bit of something in my right ear once in a while when I'm driving the W214. Again, it's not horrible, and you do get a little bit of that in this car with the sunroof open, the G30. But it's just something to notice. I would not say that's a deal breaker. Now, I had a Chevy Tahoe diesel, a 2021, and it had a major issue with the roof, which I think was actually the headliner. Basically, they mounted the headliners in those really loosely, and it was like being inside of a subwoofer container. And it wasn't just me, it was anybody that I rode with had an issue like that, and I'm really surprised there's not more widespread feedback about that on the Tahoe forums. But anyway, I'm not talking about that car right now, just kind of giving a comparison. Now, that being said, although this is a fully modern car, I mean, you have your big screen there and your mostly digital display there. I think this is more like a classic. Oh, that sun is bright, so I got to close it. Side note, on this car, you can double click and it'll close both the sunroof and the sunroof cover. You can't do that on the Mercedes. You have to close one and then wait for it to finish, and then the other. And as is so often the case in my videos, I totally lost my train of thought. Oh yeah, old school versus new school. So yeah, the BMW is an excellent blend of classic design, just the way everything is put together, and the wood and the buttons and all that. And in the W214, I have several videos about that if you want to check out the interior. It is a much more modern interior with a really big screen right there. Very few buttons. Everything's controlled by the screen. And you know, a lot of people say they think they're going to have a problem with that. It's really not bad. I mean, I like this car has colored ambient lighting, but it doesn't automatically change color. The W214 comes standard with ambient lighting that'll kind of switch colors. It looks really cool. I did a video about that as well. But you know, so overall, I really like both of these cars. I do have to give the nod to my G30 for a couple reasons. Number one, I'm still a diesel head, so the main thing I love about this car is the diesel engine. It is a torque monster, and it's just super fun to drive. It has the diesel characteristics with the modern refinement. But I also really like the 4-cylinder engine in the E350. It's got pretty good power. It is nearly as fast as this from 0 to 60. This will do it in 5.6. The W214 will do it in 6.2. That's according to my race box, and that is without a launch. That's just flooring the pedal. But yeah, I think just overall the driving feel and connectedness to the road, I just give the slight nod to the BMW for that. You know, again, like I said, this is a car I plan on keeping long term. My W214, I don't know. It's anybody's guess how long I'm going to keep that. I find myself wanting to drive it all the time. I've only had it not even 2 weeks, and I'm up to like 1,300 miles in it. So I do drive it a lot. But I can see it being something that I get tired of eventually. I mean, I could be wrong. You know, time will tell. Those of you who have watched my channel any length of time know I'm always in and out of cars, trading, whatever, to get something new. I always want to experience as many cars as I can. But when I get one that I am truly into, I definitely want to hold on to it. I've never actually historically done that before. The longest I've ever owned a car in my life, oh, somebody's coming, so I get to do a quick acceleration run here. Oh, that's so nice. Just that sudden rush of torque right when it kicks in. And but yeah, so those are my thoughts on the two cars. I would recommend either one of them though. The W214 Mercedes 2014 and up, 2024 and up E-Class, and this BMW 2017 or 2018, I can't remember exactly, all the way up to 2023 model. This is a great choice. And you know, if you're curious about why I hate the new 5 Series so much, now I drove the 530i, I did not drive the 540i. Go drive one. I mean, I'm just like off the top of my head from what I remember, the steering feel was just completely numb. So on BMW like, and way more vague and distant than the W214 Mercedes. The steering wheel was a weird shape. You know, a flat bottom steering wheel is fine, but it had like a flat top and a flat bottom, and it was kind of off center. It was weird. And I don't know, it just didn't feel like a German car, much less a BMW. Anyway, so hopefully you find this video interesting, and yeah, let me know your thoughts on the primary 3 cars I've mentioned here: the G30, BMW, the W214 Mercedes E-Class, and I don't know the body code, but the 2024 and up 5 series. I will say it looks cool, but I just couldn't get there, and you know, so different than the W214 Mercedes. And then for those of you who have made it this far, small update on this car. So we're going on, I think, 1.5 years now since it was in for all the work, the new turbo and some other stuff. I've talked about that before, but since then it has been perfect. No issues whatsoever. It seems pretty well sorted now, so I actually don't expect any issues anytime soon. I think, yeah, I remember that dead animal on the road. So, the turn signal just popped off there. Okay, I gotta be careful here because this is a tricky intersection. There we go. And anyway, well, I think that's about it for now. So, everybody have a great day, and I hope you enjoyed the video.